Greetings, fellow media sponges, and welcome to my home. I am Tarrker the Newt, and today I want to talk about something that matters to me. Although I guess I should say it's just something that kind of happened, and I saw it and thought it was made for an interesting talking point, so here we go. So every year this weird naked bald guy named Oscar has this awards ceremony, and everybody from Hollywood shows up to it, and with that many famous, like, how shall I say, entitled people in one place, you imagine some hijinks are going to ensue. So there's, anyway, this happened.
Oh, wow!
What to say about this? I mean, I could sit here and talk about, like, how people defending Will Smith are, like, rather frustratingly saying things about, like, what a man needs to do or he should do. It's like, he's a man, he's got to do this. And it's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, so of course, like most Americans, when I first heard about this, I pretty much just saw it through, like, the various media outlets that basically operate like old-timey newspapers, and so I saw the thing about how it's like Chris Rock told a joke about Will Smith's wife and Will Smith fucking decked him. So I was like, oh shit. And my first thought was like, okay, well, what joke did Chris Rock tell? I want to see that. Is it particularly scathing? To be honest, not really.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
But that's Hollywood, that's Hollywood. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the fact that, like, I wanted to find out what the joke was and just see the clip for myself. You know what I mean? Like, without any, like, added context. I just wanted to watch the fucking clip. Well, guess what I couldn't fucking do? Man, I had to, like, really dig to try and find that clip. And it's like, I'm sure there's some, like, mega browser, like, hacker expert in the, like, watching this right now. I was like, oh, you had to dig? Well, look at this, I can find it in seconds. Like, that's nice for you. I don't have that skill. I'm not good at that, despite having been a programmer and working with hardware. Hardware's my thing. Software confuses the hell out of me. It always has, which is why I am not still a programmer. Not everybody has that skill that way. I certainly don't, and I know people who have less skill at that than me. So, and I'm pretty sure those people are the majority. The point I'm arduously trying to crawl myself towards is that most people in the United States aren't gonna get this tidbit of news except through the lens of their local media station, like these old-timey news stations. And that sucks. I mean, come on, Will Smith slapping Chris Rock is like way down there when it comes to what we should collectively as a society care about. Given. But this is an example, like, think about how the war in Ukraine is being portrayed. Like, how accurately do you think your news provider is giving, is with that information? You think they're maybe skewed way towards Ukraine? Like, and that's the thing too, is because of all this, and this just leads into so many problems. It's funny how this one thing leads into just so many problems that are very serious to Americans, and that's the other thing, is that Americans are just so extreme now. Think about when I mentioned Ukraine and how maybe those media outlets aren't portraying the war in Ukraine very accurately, and you're just like, how many of you immediately got defensive about that statement? Think about it. And that's the problem, because, you can't analyze things properly without having proper context and things like that. Like, just because I think maybe some of the news coming out of the war in Ukraine is maybe a lie or exaggerated, doesn't mean I'm like some pro-Putin like war supporter, okay? And the sad part is you shouldn't have to say that. Like, of course you're not. But that's how people think now. It's been just great, just hammered into us that, you know, if you're not for something, you're against it, and if you're not against something, then you're for it. And that is such like a playground mentality. Like when you're like 4 and 5, it's like nuh-uh, yeah, nuh-uh, yeah, like it's so absurd, and it's insidious because people just so often don't even realize they're doing it. It becomes so ingrained. And then we wonder why there's this huge disconnect between the generations, because people, like, I'm not that old. I'm like 42. I mean, I'm sure to like a 22-year-old, I'm ancient, but I'm not that fucking old. I know people that are still alive and healthy at 72, you know? Like, and there's lots of them. So, you know, of course there's a disconnect because they remember what it was like in the before times, you know? They remember, like, people not having this playground mentality of, like, either being for or against something and no in-betweens. They remember what it's like to be in between the shit. But the younger generation, they don't. Like, that's just how it is for them. And it's only the ones who are the most critical of thinkers who will realize what's going on. And it's going to cause more divides, you know, it's going to cause more political divides, more in-grouping, where people will form different groups. I think this way, so I'm part of this group, but you think this way, so you're part of this group. Well, that group sucks. That group sucks. It sucks balls really bad because they do this thing, and that means I'm allowed to hate them, you know? So, yeah. We have some problems with extremism here in the U.S. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, guys. Just try being a little less extreme in your day. And if you're not an American, then I'm sorry for bothering you with... But that's what I wanted to talk about today, is just how extreme we are and how little people tend to notice it. And, you know, this is pretty much why I avoided talking about this for a while, because it really sets my nerves on edge, you know. I'm thinking about it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna low simmer. It's like, I start talking about the way people fucking get at each other and how they in-group. Be good to each other. Be empathetic, you know, try to put yourself in the shoes of others when you can. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I'm sorry for all the shenanigans in my videos, and I promise I'll upload a little more recently. I have some ideas. I got a game on sale from Steam that I guarantee the majority of my viewers have completely forgotten about over the years, and I'm going to talk about it. So thanks for watching, guys. Say goodbye, Annabelle. Bye. Bye. Belly. Sometime. It's somebody's food time, yes.